Hey everybody, I am the Mighty Plantain here with this week's beer review. And I gotta tell you, this is one I'm kind of excited about. A beer I've never had before, most of these are, but this one's definitely a new and unique one. It's from one of probably my favorite local craft brewery, the Boothbay Craft Brewery in Boothbay, Maine. Not to be confused with Boothbay Harbor. A lot of us folks from out of town, or even the tourists from out of state, might think they're one and the same, but don't let the townies hear you say that, and definitely don't let the harbor folks hear you say that. The harbor and the town proper are two very different places. But anyway, Boothbay Craft Brewery can be found in Boothbay, Maine. They make a lot of excellent beers. Every single one is delicious. It's they distinctly fall within the style that they're brewed for. In other words, their IPA is very definitely an IPA, their stout is very definitely a stout, etc., etc. But they also stand out within those categories. So when you go to some craft breweries, you taste their stout and it tastes like everybody else's stout. You go to Boothbay, their Black Rock stout tastes different from anybody else's stout. So couple of things that got me really excited about the place. Also, their beers are all very drinkable. Even their Devil's Thumbprint Double Black IPA, one of the beer styles that tends to not appeal to everybody. That one is just very smooth, very drinkable, and that's across the board for all of their beers. So that place has got a lot of really nice things going for them. So enough about that. We are doing their Steganos, and I may be mispronouncing that. This is a stout that's been aged in Kentucky bourbon barrels. So, it's from Boothbay Craft Brewery, probably my favorite craft brewery around here. They barrel aged it, and it was a stout to begin with, in Kentucky bourbon barrels. I'm a bourbon fan, so lots of really exciting stuff I expect out of this beer. It's also got that nice wax seal over the top. You can tell it's a good beer if it's got a wax seal. I'll have to ask you to bear with me. I might have some trouble getting through that thing. Here's the Sam Adams tasting glass. And as I've said before, it just happens to have that perfect shape, and I find that it really works for any beer. It's been designed specifically for Sam Adams Boston Lager, but anything I put in it tends to come out really well. Yeah, this wax seal is going to be a bit of a challenge. The beer should definitely be worth the fight to get to it. It's probably an easier way to do this. If I don't get through it within the next couple of minutes, I'm going to cut and edit this bit out, so you don't have to sit here watching me struggle through the wax seal. So this would not be a point in this beer's favor, unless I'm just an idiot and there's a better way to get through this. And there we go. I'll try not to get any chunks of wax in the actual beer. So there you go. For you folks who are worried about craft beer containing extra calories, I think I just worked them all off right there, trying to get the wax seal off. Well, that is a beautiful dark beer, I can see already. Look at that. That is black as midnight. Lovely. Actually getting some notes of bourbon in the aroma. Not much in terms of hoppiness or bitterness coming through. And some toastiness probably from the barrels. That is nice, dark and heavy. There's a lot of coffee flavor coming through, a lot of really strong coffee notes in there. It's got a fairly heavy mouthfeel up front, but it seems to lighten up as it rolls off the tongue. It's just very, very delicious. There's a bit of sourness coming through. I have a feeling that's from the barrel aging. Maybe some odd notes getting picked up. It reminds me a bit of an imperial. Typically an imperial stout will develop a little bit of that sourness, and this does come in at 12% alcohol by volume, so that could be contributing. I think that's where a lot of that flavor comes from in the imperials. First and foremost, it's a delicious stout. It reminds me of their Black Rock Stout, which I believe this may start out as before it's aged. I could be wrong on that. Just very dark, very heavy. A little bit of woodiness. A lot of toasty coffee notes to it. Overall, just a very dark, heavy, delicious stout. And I'm going to hit this with a 4.5 out of 5. It's a very, very drinkable beer. This is going to disappear very fast. You wouldn't know it's 12% alcohol by volume just based on the flavor alone, unless you're familiar really with the Imperials and you pick up on that subtle sourness that comes through in it because of that flavor. But mostly I'm getting a lot of coffee. I'm not a coffee fan, but I love coffee flavor, if that makes any sense. It's just a very robust and very perfect stout with that extra kick from the barrel aging. A little bit of the bourbon flavor and the toasty woodiness from the barrels coming through. I'm loving it. It's not quite hit me with a huge flavor that would blow me away and make me put it up into the 5, but it does fit all of those different things I mentioned about Boothbay Craft Brewery before. It's distinctly a stout. You can definitely tell it's been barrel aged. It's extremely drinkable, but the flavor overall stands out among barrel aged stouts. So if you're in town, Boothbay, and you get a chance to check it out, definitely hit this one up. While you're at it, hit me up down below with a like and a share. Hopefully you're getting some value out of these videos and some good recommendations. If you hit the subscribe button down there, you'll get a notification every time that I post a new video. And if you've got a beer that you want to see reviewed, hit me up down below in the comments or the email link. We'll see what we can do about getting one on for you. Until next time, folks, cheers. Now, a little while back, we did a bit of a comparison with the Not Your Father's Hard Root Beer review.
Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for the beer, man. So, highly recommended by you. The Extreme Beer Fest this weekend. We'll be able to get a hold of, I believe it's the American